There you go. Okay, now we're recording. All righty. So, again, thank you everyone for joining. I already said welcome, but in any case, we started recording. All right. So, the purpose of the session today is to talk a little bit about who we are. Try to understand who we are as a company, where are we going, what is it that holds us together, why is it important that we do what we're currently doing, right? So, in order to understand a little bit who we are as an organization, let me start talking about something called the Golden Circle of San Jose. Has anybody heard about the Golden Circle?
Yes.
Of course.
Of course. Okay, what is the Golden Circle, Esteban?
Well, it's a way of thinking that is the original focus of what we do things for.
Uh-huh. So in order to understand ourselves as an organization, as a person, there are three questions that we must answer. Okay? The first one is, what do we do? And to be honest with you, even when I started Sintesys, that question was not clear to me. So I knew, we were in the information technology market. I knew, I wanted to do IT, but I had no clue on what exactly is it that we were doing. Okay? I think, good news is I think we're now clear on this question, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But the first question is, what do we do? The second question, and I think this is even deeper, is how do we do it, right? And I'm not talking only about the methodologies or the technologies. I'm talking about the values that hold us together. Okay? So that is, how do we do things? And this question was even harder for me to answer. It took even longer for me to realize, and we're also going to talk about how do we do things as a company. But the most important thing, and this is actually, if we know this, we can figure out the rest. But this one is one of the key components of a person, a company, any organization. It's why do we do what we do? Okay. So I wanted to start this conversation sharing you a story and being a little bit vulnerable. Sharing you a story on why is it that I decided to start Sintesys, and why is it that we're doing what we're currently doing right now. Let me start sharing with you a picture. Watch for this badass guy. Okay? he can kill you at any time. So this is me at the age of around 9 years old. And as most of us, there are certain events during our lifetime that really strike us. Your phone. That really strike us. Okay, so there are specific moments that change our lives forever, and if we think hard enough, we can find specifically what are those moments that change our lives. So for me, there are three specific things that shape completely who I am. Okay, back then, I used to be skinnier. I was a very, very skinny guy, and I think that's the only thing that I'm not right now. But I think there's other two things that I was back then that I'm still are, and I'm uncurable optimist and really enthusiast. So those are two things that I've carried on throughout my life. So being in elementary school, in primary school, talking to my classmates about the things that we loved. One of the things that I used to discuss more often was about Mexico. We used to talk about politics. We used to talk about what was the environment, the free trade agreement that we were signing back then. I still remember the GATT. Maybe you're not old enough to remember that, but that was the earlier version of the NAFTA for us. And holding these political conversations even in the classroom. And I remember distinctly one teacher told me, Ivan, one day are going to be the president of Mexico. So wow, for me that was like one of the biggest dreams, and that was a moment that struck me. And to be honest with you, that's still one of the dreams that I have. That maybe sometime I will be the next Lopez or no, I'm sorry, the president of Mexico. But that's one of the moments that struck me. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you is even since I was a kid, one of the things that I really enjoyed was talking about Mexico, about natural resources, about the people, about that we are as a country. So Mexico has been one of my greatest passions. Another very important passion for me, even since I was a kid, is people. Okay, do you know any of the guys in these pictures?
Napoleon Hill, right? Is the one in the middle?
No, he's
No?
no, but this is more or less a contemporary of Napoleon Hill.
Mm,
Who's this guy? Or this guy? You know who's this guy?
Gilberto Yamamoto.
Yes. Who's Vince Lombardi? Anybody in the line knows who's Vince Lombardi?
Guy from America.
Yeah, coach, right? Coach from the Green Bay Packers. Right? A true leader, you know. He was one of the first guys. In fact, the Super Bowl trophy holds his name. It's the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Okay. So one of the people that I admired since I was a kid for his leadership skills, Vince Lombardi. This guy is Dale Carnegie.
oh,
And Dale Carnegie is the author of one of the greatest books and some of the most important ideas that I still hold true to this time, which is he wrote a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. You know, I strongly recommend you to read that book. And you know, he taught me the value of calling people by his names, not names, but calling people by their names. Okay, having a firm handshake. You know, whenever you say hi to someone, to smile, to be present. You know, so all of these skills that I learned even when I was a kid have been part of my heart, and people has been an important passion for me. The last guy on the left, he passed away about 6 or 7 years ago. He's the guy that taught me public speaking. You know, even at that age, at the age of probably 7 or 8 years old. He created a great institution in Mexico. Now the institution disappeared when he died. But the reason why I wanted to share with you is one of the passions that I hold even when I was a kid is people. People. How to deal with people. How to bring the best in people. That has been one of my passions. So one, Mexico, people. And last but not least, what is it? Technology. Does anybody knows what computer is this? Anybody remembers this? No? So this was actually, I was fortunate enough to find an actual picture of my first computer. This is a Radio Shack Tandy, and it had an incredible amount of memory. It had 16 kilobytes of memory. I think that the picture is larger than 16 kilobytes, right? So the entire computer couldn't even, hold this picture right now. But one of the interesting things about it is, this was the first computer. I think it was like 1985 or something like that when I got it, when I started programming. And the first programs that I did was actually a demo. I'm gonna skip it. A demo that they had in the manual, where it took me like about maybe 2 to 3 hours to do the code, just to create a Christmas tree that played "Joy to the World," as a sample. And even when it took me 2 to 3 hours to code this thing, the computer had no floppy disk, nothing at all. So when it was time to power down the computer, everything was lost. So by the time that I wanted to code it again and to see it again, I had to code all over again until my dad brought me this tape recorder, which was tied up to the computer, and I was able to save my code in those cassette tapes. So it was a lot of fun. And yesterday, when I was sharing this presentation with Talina, she was asking me, okay, so technology, that's fine and all, but why is it that you find it interesting in staying so many hours, doing code? What did you find in technology that really struck you? And after thinking for a few seconds, I came to the realization of two very important things. The first one is when I saw this Christmas tree popping up for the first time, and I heard "Joy to the World," from the computer, I realized that technology could do amazing. that you could do amazing. I mean, to me, this was amazing. You know, you could do amazing things with technology. And the other thing that I distinctly remember about the time is that um, I remember it was a little later on the Olympic, the Seoul. It must have been Seoul. Seoul was what 86, I think, right? Something like that. The Olympic Games of what's that? 88. 88. The Games of Seoul 98, 88. And I remember that I had to do my physics homework. Back then I was already in not high school. What is it in junior high? And instead of doing my homework, I decided to do the entire code so the computer would solve my homework for me. So why do these two things struck me, the Christmas tree and the homework? Because I realized that with technology we could do amazing things, but also that we could solve practical problems with the use of technology, right? So it became my passion. For me it was more fun to take the video games and change them, destroy them, have them hack the code so that they would give me lives every time that I lost. It was much more fun than actually playing the actual games, because with technology we could do so many amazing, And I firmly believe that technology is the signature of humankind. Because technology is all of those processes, tools, things that are around us that actually help us to become a better civilization, or that pushes us forward. Of course, we've also used technology to destroy ourselves, right? But the human is the only species that we know, right, Esteban, that we know of that can create technology. And therefore, I believe that technology is the signature of humankind. So I want to share all this with you because, on why are we doing what we're doing. Synthesis is the reason that has allowed me to compile all these three reasons. My love for Mexico, because one of the things that we're doing is putting the name of Mexico out there in the world. Okay? Every time that we talk to a client, every time that we go to a meeting, all of the guys, Pedro, Eloy, all of the guys that are on site are ambassadors of who we are. And we are actually helping to put Mexico's name in the technology map, not only as a country south of the wall, but as a company where technology can be created. So, my love for Mexico, my passion for people, because one of the things that I can't stress enough is, because we are a technology company, the most important thing that we have is people, right? We don't have buildings, we don't have cars, we don't have talent. That's the only thing that we have. And of course, technology, computers, which is something that I've loved. So why do we do what we do? And when I was thinking through on how to put this in a consolidated statement, I came with this. Because we believe that technology is the signature of humankind, we use technology to empower people. Everything that we do is because we're using technology to empower people. Every time that we code something on the ATMs, an ATM workflow, we're allowing people to do their work faster. And therefore, for people to have more ATMs and to be able to get money faster for humankind. Every time that we are talking to a candidate and trying to bring him over and convince him to take an assignment, we're leveraging technology to empower people. Every time that we do what we're doing, we are using technology as an excuse and as a mean to empower people. So that is why we do what we do. Now the second question, because I'm going from the in to the outside of the circle. First is why. Then before answering what do we do, of course we do technology, but we're going to go a little bit deeper into that. But before going to that is, how do we do it? How do we do it? What is our signature in the things that we do? What sets Sintesys apart from the rest of the companies? And we're thinking through with this, and we had a conference call a few days ago, in which we were, trying to think, out of all the things that we can do, fine. Yeah, we can lower the price, the cost for the customers. Yes, we have a nice location. Yes, we have NAFTA to compete with the U.S. Culture, technology, time zone. Out of all the things that in which we can bring value to the clients, what are the three key elements that are distinctly only to us, that are specific to Sintesys, specific to us? Okay, you can picture this out. You can find two restaurants, two very successful restaurants, and one of them focuses on the quality of the food, the neatness of the environment, and maybe the service. And another restaurant, as equally successful, focuses on two completely different things. Maybe they're focused on speed, cost, and on I don't know, the music or whatever. So, what are the three things that we do well and that add value to the clients? And the three things that we have is we are reliable, we are personable. Remember the people part, which is always important. Reliable, personable, and simple. A simplicity. Simplicity means take all the unnecessary things and just bring what adds value. That's simplicity. So reliability, and this is extremely key for everything that we do on a daily basis. So, for example, Sergio, what would happen if you deliver something to production and it breaks the minute we put it in production? What happens?
We got a lot of calls regarding the situation, the things, and well, the client get angry. But things broke.
Yeah. So, Carlos, what happens when those situations occur? When we're trying to bring something to production, the client calls us. What is the ultimate consequence of that of the lack of reliability? Are you there, Carlos, on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So what happens? What happens when we deliver something and it breaks and the client gets upset? What happens?
So usually it depends on how do you see it. So the first thing that they do is try to blame something or someone, basically. But it depends how do you handle it and how do you respond to the client, right?
Right.
So you need to find the root cause. You need to help them understand what is wrong and stay calm as much as you can.
Right. Absolutely. Maria, what happens when we present a candidate to the client and the candidate they don't have even the basic skills to go through the interview? What happens?
Well, they probably won't trust us anymore with another position.
We lose confidence. The most important thing that we can have from our clients is confidence. When we are not reliable, we lose confidence. The confidence from the client, the trust. So that's why it's key to be reliable every time, all the time. To be even more demanding on ourselves, to be reliable every time, all the time. What we are doing has to work, has to go above and beyond, every time, all the time. The candidates have to be high quality people. The code has to be clean. The infrastructure has to be set up in the correct way. Reliability. Okay, think of it. One of the most important things that we can have as a company. That's why we have to continue to focus on this one. This is how we do things. Personable. Do you think that in the business-to-business environment, the personable thing matters? I mean, treating people like people. I mean, it's business, right? What would it matter, David?
Because of the trust that candidates or maybe clients are not really a client at this point, have the confidence in us to do maybe a delivery, to do a job or something. And because you treat them like people, they they think of you more like a part of their life than just a company.
Of course, because we spend more time in business than probably at our own homes, right? So if we learn to treat, and one of the things that Carlos said, for example, is whenever there's a problem, it makes a difference how I treat the client, doesn't it? Right? It makes a difference if it's urgent to me, if I can be empathetic with the client. It makes a difference if I smile to the client before or not smile to the client before. So in business, being personable, being approachable, it's a make it or break it. So that's why we continue, and I can't stress this enough. How we do things is with reliability, being personable. The personal touch is extremely important for that. And last but not least, simple. Omar, why does being simple matter?
Well, because you take out all the messy stuff and all the detours and other ways you can take, and you simply set a straight line between one point and the other, and you get to where you want to go, or you get what you want easy, just with the push of a button or something like that. And if you got reliability and personability, and you make things simple, you've got uh, the best of every world.
Of course. Luis Adrian, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you know any complex topic? Think of a complex topic that you know of, but that you know very, very well. It's a very complex topic, but you know it very, very well. If you know it very well, do you think you could explain it to a, I don't know, 12-year-old, 10-year-old kid?
Uh, I think I can't because I have no the abilities to teach another.
Uh-huh. Okay. So let me tell you this. Whenever there is something that is complex, but we know it very, very well, usually we should be able to explain it in very simple terms. You might not, I mean, for example, we're talking about gravity, right? It might be very complex, we might not understand everything. But if someone knows relativity very well, he can explain it to any of us, using apples and pears, right? So simplicity means taking out all the unnecessary things and leaving what adds value. Taking out all the unnecessary things and leaving what adds value. For example, when we're working on a workflow on ServiceNow, is this important? Yes or no?
Yes,
Why?
of course, because otherwise you get into complex situations that you may not be able to solve.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. For example, one of the clients that we have been working with for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, a client called the Next Level Experience. One of the things that he told us is, Ivan, I was working with many different IT companies trying to create my app. He actually did a video testimonial for us. He said, I've been working for many, many years with different, not many years, but for several years, maybe a couple years, trying to do my app. Nobody would understand what I wanted. What you guys did is you took what I needed, did something extremely simple, and within 3 months, he had his application up and running. After a lot of why? Because simplicity matters. That's why we're the slogan of Sintesys for many years has been make it simple. Make IT, of course, IT is it as well. Make IT simple. Make it simple. So every time think in terms of this. So why do we do what we do? Well, because we believe that technology is the signature of humankind. We use technology to empower people. How do we do what we do? We do it with reliability, personability, and simplicity. And from now on, guys, I want you to go to the tattoo parlor and have you tattoo 3 words here in your chest. Reliability, personability, and simplicity. Those are 3 absolutely key items that we need to. Are we perfect? No, of course not. Right? We had incidents recently where we've not been reliable. We need to fix those. But the thing is, we need to get the mindset of being reliable, personable, and do things with simplicity, right? Okay, so the statement then goes like this. Because we believe that technology is a signature of humankind, we use technology to empower people. And we do it with reliability, personability, and simplicity. And we do it in a reliable, personable, and simple way. Right? So this is how we do what we're doing. Now, what do we do? So, Claudia, what do we do?
Well, we provide services for infrastructure and staffing.
Huh? We provide services, infrastructure is part of it, staffing is part of it. Esteban, what do we do?
Make things happen. We make of an idea a concrete thing.
Make an idea, concrete thing. Right now, there's a term right now that everybody's talking about. It's called digital transformation. Have any of you at least heard the phrase digital transformation? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, is change inevitable or is it not inevitable? Change.
Inevitable.
Change is inevitable. Is progress inevitable? No. Right? So change is inevitable, but progress is not. Progress requires a vision, requires a strategy, requires perseverance, requires execution. So what I'd like to say is that we have to go above and beyond from digital transformation to digital acceleration. What we do is actually to help companies use information technology to grow their own businesses. That's what we're doing. We have three very important lines of service, and I want everybody to know this. Okay. Number one, ServiceNow. ServiceNow has been one of our business lines for a long time now, and we'll continue to bet on ServiceNow to grow. Okay, so ServiceNow, software services, which means application development, application support, anything that's related to software. That's also a key component for us, and team augmentation. Help our clients to be able to have the talent that they need in order to make things happen for them, and we provide the team that is working with them, the team augmentation. Those are the three things that we do. ServiceNow, software services, and team augmentation. Those are the three things. So that is a what do we do, okay? And believe me, even now that it seems this simple, it took me a lot of time to figure it out. What exactly do we do, how do we do it, and why do we do it? So this is it, ServiceNow, software services, and team augmentation. So talking about 2019, we will continue to grow in these three areas, okay? With ServiceNow, we are right now executing a strategy to work directly with the mid-market companies in the U.S. and Canada, okay? Of course, in Mexico as well. But our marketing strategy that we are actually creating right now and executing, Jacob and Maria are part of that environment, as well as a consulting company that we brought, is how do we take ServiceNow that we've been helping integrators and other technology companies to implement, how do we get directly to the mid-market of the USA? So ServiceNow will continue to be important for us. A reminder for all the ServiceNow guys that every training that you want to take regarding ServiceNow, you can take it 75% off. Okay. Of course, there's some training that we will pay for, but if there's something that you want to take on your own, you can take the training 75% off because we will continue to bet on ServiceNow. Okay. Second, software services. Same thing. We're targeting also the mid-market in the US and some startups. I think that technology startups in particular, have been great for this line of service, like Survey, Key Marketing Advantage, the Next Level Experience. So startups that want to create a digital product, that want digital revenues, for us, that's part of the bread and butter of what we're currently doing. So we'll continue to bet on software services for startups and mid-sized companies. And last but not least, team augmentation. So we will continue to work on that. We'll continue to develop that area as well, in which we are partnering with integrators, particularly in the US, and integrators that need presence in Mexico in order to find the talent that that can help them. So there are some specific niches in which we're working here in team augmentation, but the three services are three areas in which we will continue to grow in 2019. Another very important aspect for 2019 is what we want to do for people growth. So for many years, I think people have been asking about their career plans. And one of the things that I've said over and over again is that to me, the company is not responsible for creating the career plan of someone, but that person has to have his or her career plan in mind and then works towards executing it. And while I still believe that's correct, what we're putting in place right now is a formal process to help you guys develop that career plan and specific goals and things that Sintesys has to do in order to help you get wherever you want to go. Okay, so we are going to start right now. We start with the 360 assessment for the administrative part of the company, and we will do for the rest of the company during the first quarter of 2019, as well as the monthly sessions that you're going to help. And I'm going to show you in the next slide how exactly we're going to do those sessions. Okay, so focus on your particular growth, people growth. Third, make our marketing a window to our operation. One of the things, guys, that I think that we have not been doing very successfully is sharing the word of everything that we're doing outside of the walls of Sintesys. Sometimes even within the walls of Sintesys, it's challenging. You know, we're not effective in sharing that with everybody. So what we need to do more and better of is, take all the magic that you guys are doing every single day in recruitment, in development, in ServiceNow, with the clients, take that and share it to the world. Because I believe that's the best publicity that we can have as a company. Sharing whatever we're currently doing, our successes, and sharing it with the world. All right? So one of the things that I promised you that we were going to do today also is to share with you some of the organizational changes, and I believe this is important. I'm going to share this slide via email so that everybody can have their this in writing, okay? But one of the most important changes that we're doing is that we are formalizing a role called the team leader, okay? So previously, all the people in operation reported either to Jose Luis or to Marco, and everybody reported directly to them. So right now, what we're doing is formalizing a role that some of these guys have already been doing and give them the skills and the authority to be able to execute better. And what we're actually working on is empower certain team members in order to work and to coach their teams so that they can grow faster. So creating smaller units so that each unit can move faster, but with the same strategy or with the same vision for the entire company. Okay, so Gary continues to be in finance and HR along with Aurora. Marco stays with his hat of operations and information technology. But there are 5 people that are going to work directly with Marco as team leaders: Carlos, Eloy, Esteban, Luis Reyes, and Angel Andonei. Okay, some of them already have been doing this already within their projects. What we're doing is formalizing this for them. So you can read I'm going to share so everybody knows, but Jesualdo knows Carlos is going to be working with Carlos. Edson, Pedro, and Alejandro Velázquez are going to be working with Eloy. Miguel Villarreal, José Bello, Israel, and Arturo de Los Ángeles. And Israel are going to be working with Luis Reyes. Sergio, Rodolfo, Oleg, and Marco Wally are going to be working with Esteban. Luis Adrian is going to be working with Angel Antonei. And Arturo de Los Ángeles is going to report directly to Marco on the operations side. Okay. We're doing a very similar thing in recruitment, where Claudia, Omar, and Maria are going to report to David, who's going to be the team leader for the recruitment team, right? And Maria, again, also with double role, is going to be working along with Jacob in the marketing side. So they're going to be using all the Six Sigma knowledge of Jacob and numbers analysis along with the creativity of Maria, to be able to execute our marketing strategies. And Liz is going to continue to work working with me as a business relationship manager, and we're looking also to grow our business development side, our business development team. Okay, so that's part of the structure that we're having. Any questions of this so far? No? You're raising your hand, you're scratching your head.
Very good.
Scratching your head? Okay. Very good. Anybody on the line? Any questions?
No.
No here.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So guys, 2019 really looks promising. 2018 was very challenging. Okay, was very challenging. 2017 I think each year has been a very good year. Last year was very challenging. Fortunately, we were able to grow around 30% over what we were in 2017. We grew in about, I'm going to give you the exact number, so it's between 20 and 30%. It's between those numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers exact to you. But it was from 1.7 million to 2 million in last year. Okay, so it was a little bit less than around 20%. So it was a good year. It was very challenging, to be honest with you. This year, I think we're starting with strategies and with energy that I have never seen before in this team. I believe we're pushing extremely hard on what's ahead. And I believe that some of the things that we're doing are going to be fundamental. Working on processes, that I think has been something that we've been hearing all over and over again. Working on our internal processes, working on the career plans, investing a little bit more in education in terms of what we're doing with ServiceNow. Remember that we also have the training program that everybody can access. So I believe we're starting 2019 with a lot of energy. There's a lot of movement in the beginning of 2019, which we've never seen in the beginning of the year. Okay, usually January and February are dead, and right now it's just kicking ass, to say something. Okay. Last but not least, okay, two more things. What do we need from you? Okay. There is something, guys, that we need from you in order to keep the pace, keep growing. And there are two very important things. The first one, remember over and over again, reliable, personable, simple, reliable, personable, simple, reliable, personable, simple, in everything we do. Our internal processes have to be reliable, personable, and simple. The way that we engage with clients, reliable, personable, simple. The delivery, reliable, personable, simple. The code, reliable, personable, simple. Reliable, personable, everything we do. Even our marketing, we design our marketing campaign so that every message that we send has to touch one of these three topics, if not the three of them. We're going to talk about how, with ServiceNow, with our services, we can help the clients to be more reliable. We're going to help them to be more personable, and we're going to simplify their operation. So this is the first thing that I need your help. The other important thing, guys, one of the ways in which we've grown the most is with your referrals. Okay, referrals to us have been the best source of contacts, of clients, of partners, of people. Okay, so I think that one of the things that we need from you guys is if you have candidates, whether you know they'll work or not, refer them to us. You have potential customers. We'll close. You don't have to do a lot. Send them to us. Refer them to us. Contacts, partners that you don't know if it might work or not, or would be a waste of time. Send them to us. I think that one of the ways in which we've grown the most is the best way for us in which we've grown is word of mouth. Word of mouth is by far, hands down, the best growth generator for us. So help us in that. If you know partners, contacts, anything that you think might help, please let us know. Okay? And just to finish this presentation, I'm I want to read this paragraph that to me was very meaningful when I was preparing this presentation. Esteban, can you read it, please?
Okay. All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds, wake in the day to find that it was vanity. Dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. Make it reliable, make it reasonable, make it.
Guys, synthesis is much more than walls, frames, numbers, contracts. Synthesis is a way to fulfill a dream in which we can compound, key elements that push us as a country, as people, forward. Using technology to do all that. So synthesis is a dream. So today I want to finish this presentation asking you to be active dreamers with me. Sometimes you've heard me dream, set goals that might seem impossible, but sometime we'll meet those dreams because we are not only thinking about them, but working our asses off to get them done. So I thank you for being part of this journey. We have to work every day hard to make this a success. But I want to thank you for being part of this journey, for being part of this dream. Keep dreaming, keep working, and as Esteban said, make it reliable, make it personable, make it simple. Thank you, guys. All right.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, I wanted to open the floor for any questions, comments that you might have. Yes, someone on the line? Any questions? Comments? What is the most important thing that you got out of today's session, Esteban? One or two words.
Make it simple.
Make it simple. Okay, please.
Well, how can we get better at being reliable, personable, and simple? Because we are a little bit of each one, but we need to get better. So that is what I am living with.
Okay, beautiful. So what your takeaway is we're a little bit good at being reliable, personable, and simple. So your takeaway is we have to get excellent at the three of them.
Yes, or sometimes we are great at being reliable, but we need to simplify things more. Maybe we
Beautiful.
are excellent.
It's an ongoing work.
Yes,
we're never
that's
gonna
correct.
get there. We're never gonna be perfect.
No,
We're just
never.
gonna
Get better. But
we're just gonna get better every
Mhm.
time. True. Maria, what's your takeaway? What's the most important thing you take away?
I think to continue working, to continue the teamwork we have been working on this past month, that it has been very good and better than the last year, I think. So
Beautiful.
keep going with that.
Clap.
For this presentation, what I take is the business line because that will help me to explain the candidate what we do, and I think that I can pass the information correctly, and that will help us for the referral specifically.
Beautiful. Yeah, David.
How to improve to be more reliable. Grow as an individual, as a company.
Right.
Team effort so we can all pull together and get to where we're gonna go.
Beautiful.
Keep growing.
Keep growing. Keep growing. And you know what, guys? The more that we grow as individuals, the more that we're gonna grow as a team. There's no other way around it, right? Beautiful. Now, for those on the line, very quickly, Angel, your takeaways.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that in order to achieve the part of make it simple, we need to master our knowledge. There are levels of mastery, and in the part that Luis says that in order to explain to another person and teach them, it is because the top level of mastery that knowledge it is to become, as the word says, masters. So you understand that topic that is very complex, but you also have the capacity to explain to other people, and as the word says, and again, make it simple. But it is that demand us, all of us, to breathe that experience, to achieve that level of knowledge.
Beautiful. Yeah, learn and share, right? Help others grow. And the more that you help others, the more that you yourself are going to grow. Beautiful. Arturo.
I like the idea of technology being for, for empowering and moving forward humanity. So that's absolutely what I am. That's on that page with you. That's what I'm taking from this, and knowing that the purpose of synthesis is that is that exact same purpose. It's something good and refreshing and something that I really like.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Arturo. Jacob.
Okay, I want to emphasize something that is very important in your message. That is the empowerment that all of us have to take a difference, or to make a difference in the things that we are doing. We are empowered to make our things, our daily things, more simple.
Absolutely.
And in this situation, we can make us more reliable, inner and outside the company.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Jacob. Oscar, you're on mute. Okay, Aurora, any takeaway from? Oh, there you go. There you go, Oscar. You can talk now.
Hi, everybody. For me, making it simple by making the company's process more accessible to everybody, and they would know who to go to whenever they have an issue or problem, and that could also lead to a more personable, relationship within us. That's
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Aurora. Mr. Oscar. You can go off mute now. Something's wrong there. Gesualdo. So what is your takeaway, Gesualdo? No? Adrian?
Hi. Well, I like the talk because it allowed me to know more about synthesis and its principles. And now I need to find a way to apply them in the work I do every day.
That's the key, Every day ask yourself the question, how can I make this more reliable, more personable, more simple? Or simpler, I think it's the right word. Perfect, beautiful. Thank you, Adrian. Gesualdo.
Hi, can you hear me?
What's up, man? Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay. I was on mute, sorry.
Don't worry.
Well, for me, it's going to be just always improvement, be better, and always try to give your best.
Beautiful. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Gesualdo. Pedro, what's your takeaway? Your most important takeaway?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so something really important here in the United States is customer service. It's all about customer service. So the things that we do and how we do it is really important for the clients. So I think that I was listening and now I'm learning is to make more simple the stuff more simple to the client, and just be proactive with them, and then they will see that we are providing a good service to them, and then it's just the customer service that we provide.
Absolutely. Can customer service be the difference between you choosing one place or another?
Of course.
Absolutely, right? Beautiful. Thank you, Pedro. I see a number from Querétaro, but I don't know exactly who that is. Finishes with 5099. Who's that? An alien, maybe?
I think this is me, Ivan.
Beautiful. Who is this? Eduardo?
This is Eduardo.
Hi, Eduardo. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, well, I think the strategy is very well defined. We need to be reliable. We need to make to think in people and make things simple. Of course, this overall strategy needs the collaboration between all the pieces of this year, which is Sintesys. We need to make it simple for the clients. We need stretch communication between us in those aspects which are complex to make it work for the clients. Think in people, of course. We need to think in people, in our clients, of course, in their needs, and we need to think in the people inside Sintesys and how can we help each other to make it work. And reliable, I think this is a thing I think all the persons here in this room keep in mind. We are going to be reliable if we put the piece, the fort, a piece of the fort from each one to make it happen. I think this is the takeaway I can just remark here.
Beautiful. Thank you, Eduardo. Appreciate it. Carlos, what are your main takeaways? In two or three words, what do you take from this conversation?
So one of the takeaways that I have is consider all the three different words that you describe how ServiceNow behaves. I mean, how Sintesys behaves. But I will add one more, which is the empathy, because you need to feel what the client feels about the situation, right? So you need to understand how they are feeling, how they need, which are their needs, and understand them from the client side, right? In order to provide a better service. So since we are some clients in some stores, we want certain behavior from the persons, right? So try to provide the best of us for the client, make them comfortable, and they want more from us, right? So try to make it always happier, but with the corresponding limits, right? From the technology, from the different perspective, and make the things better for them. So I think that's the empathy helps us a lot to understand how the client feels our work.
Beautiful. So feel their pains, walk in their shoes. You know,
exactly.
The only way in which we're going to be able to really give what the client needs if we walk them out in their shoes, if we understand their pain. Beautiful. Thank you, Carlos. Cari, last but not least.
Oh, thank you. Well, in my case, Ivan, from now on, I will pay more attention to do my activities and all the processes being RPS, reliable, personal, and simple.
There you go, RPS, reliable, personal, simple. Beautiful. Thank you, Cari. So,
thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining. It's always pleasurable to have everybody right here. We're finishing just in time. It's 12:59, so it was awesome. It was awesome. Thanks everybody for being part of this journey. Let's continue to grow in all aspects. Let's continue to build this company. We're actually the ones building this thing, you know. So let's build it the way that we would like to build things. Appreciate it. Thanks everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.